Hi, my question is regarding this overall understanding of Session 7.9, specifically the interest rate, because we studied the same in corporate finance in the last term. So I'd just like to take a minute or two to just correlate everything so that you can correct me. And I'm sorry, I'm just bumping this onto you, but I would really appreciate if you can help me connect all these different pieces of the puzzle, and that'll help me clear the air in my mind. This graph is very powerful, which is in Session 7.9, where you plot the interest rate with output, and you have the investment function, which is downward sloping like a demand curve, and you have the savings function, which is upward sloping like a supply curve. So I'd like to say my understanding about the interest rate is very conventional. Say, if we want people to invest in an economy, in my understanding, you would lower the interest rate. When you lower the interest rate, there is no incentive for people to save money. They cannot go to the Fed or the banks to save money because the interest rate is very low. They get very little money, right? And then also the cost of borrowing is very cheap because interest rate is very less. So people have all the incentive to go and invest, take the money out from the banks or from their pockets, go and invest when the interest rate is down. And say if the interest rate is up, then there's all the more incentive for people to save, because then I'll put all my money in a bank because interest rate is up. I can get more return from the bank, and also if the interest rate is up, then cost of borrowing is high, then I don't have that incentive to invest. So I would not invest. My question is, if as they say in the if we want more investment in the economy, then this is a little counterintuitive, which is if I want more investment, then I would encourage people to save more. And if I want to encourage people to save more, I have to raise the interest rate. Okay, so if I raise the interest rate, then I am incentivizing people to save, right? But if they save, then why would they invest? They will keep on saving. So that's my question. When Professor Miles here in 7.9 explains that if you want to shift the investment curve outwards, you need to raise the interest rate so that you encourage people to save more, and then we are assuming that if they save more, they will eventually invest. But my understanding is, if you raise the interest rate and you let people save, they will keep on saving. They will not go out and invest because there is no incentive. Yes, they'll save more, but how would that saving result into investment? Here, I just thought about corporate finance, where we studied, okay, and I'd like to propose an answer what I understand, which 20 minutes ago I was unable to, but I just thought about it and think maybe it makes sense, and let me know if it makes sense. The answer is because if you raise the interest rates, people will save, but at the end of the day, what people want to do is they want to get better and better returns on their savings. So what then people would become? They would become more like lenders. So all the buy side people of the financial sector would come to them like hedge funds, pension funds, or people like that, and they would come to them and say, oh, those buyers, they would come to them and say, hey, why don't we get you the debt securities or equity securities, because then from corporates, then you probably can get better returns than this interest rate which you're getting, the interest that you're getting from your savings from the bank. So these households would then say, oh yeah, why don't we go to these buy-side people of the financial sector, hedge funds and pension funds and other kind, and then or insurance companies, and then we can get probably better returns. So these buy-side people then go to the sell-side people, which would be the investment banks, say JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, UBS, whatever, and they would say, hey, my clients have a lot of money or savings. They want to buy the debt or equity securities from you. Do you have something to sell? So then the sell side, these investment banks would, because they represent the corporates in a way in a financial sector, so they would go to the corporates and say, do you want to go IPO? Do you want to go public? And the IPO, and do you want money do you want capital to further invest? So the corporates would say, oh yeah, we want. So the corporates would say, the investment banks, okay, go and sell our debt or equity securities. And then those investment banks would go to these buy-side people and would get the money from them, the savings of the household, and give them the debt or equity securities. This way, the money changes hands and money reaches to the corporates. And this is how the corporates would then have the capital to invest into their expansion plans. And yes, again, the insights from session 7.6 or 7, if they have more and more capital but a limited labor, then what's going to happen is, again, the law of diminishing return is going to come into play, and then the marginal output is going to reduce if they keep on blindly investing more and more capital, machines, computers, whatever, in their facilities. So that's overall the kind of cycle of investment, savings, and money changing hands from household or savers or lenders to the buyers, from buyers to the sellers, from sellers of debt or equity securities to the corporates, and how the capital reaches the corporates and eventually results in the diminishing output at the end of the day if they continue to do that. So that's my understanding. I would really want to discuss with anybody who is up for it, especially you, Sandra and Asma. So yeah, but let me know if broadly this is correct. Thank you so much. Bye bye.